What's up, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope? Great morning. Great morning. Great morning. Look a little different, huh? You guys, listen. What an amazing day. Yes, my hair is out. I think that was the easiest time I've had taking my hair out, like for real. So I started last night. I didn't start until after I finished teaching. I didn't finish teaching till 10 o'clock. So then I started taking my hair out. And I didn't stay up all night, but I wanted to get it started. And then I finished today while we were trading. Bam! This is my natural. It's grown so much. I'm like, dog, whose hair is this? Look at that, y'all. And I started, oh my goodness. I got to figure out which way to go. Okay. I cut it. I had cut it all off a couple of years ago and started my natural hair journey. So here we go. And I'm talking about taking your journey. But y'all listen, look how long it's grown. It's really grown a lot. But y'all know I'm not getting ready to leave it out like this. It's too much work, especially with me working out. And I'm getting back into my workouts this week. So, girl, listen, I'm trying to be like you, boo, with the fro all out. Yes, on your journey, on your journey. So you guys, listen, great morning, great morning, great morning to all of you. What an amazing day it is. Another day, another opportunity, another what? Friday. Woo! I'm super excited for everything that God is doing, how he's moving. Listen, his faithfulness, it is incredible. And guess what, y'all? I was on time today. So things are going well. I want you guys to keep us in prayer, me and my family in prayer. We definitely appreciate it. I won't go into all the details, but be praying for us. Keep us lifted up for health and healing. But I love you guys to life and life more abundant. So today, let's talk about take your journey. Before we take this journey, y'all, how about this? Let me share. For some reason, Facebook wouldn't let me on my other page. It wouldn't let me go live. So here we go. Listen, did I tag myself? Listen, I'm telling you, this thing, I don't know why it wants to do the thing that it does, but it does. So I'm just going to put it on my page, and then hopefully people will be able to tune in from that page as well. So you guys, today we're talking about taking your journey. I'm real clear that I'm on a journey right now. And it's not a journey for everybody. Everybody won't get it. Everybody won't like it. Everybody won't agree with it. Everybody won't understand it. Like, it is what it is. It just is. And that's not to be mean or cruel or callous of any of those things, but it is just to simply state the facts, right? And the fact of the matter is that God is doing something in my life that is not what it's not necessarily what I had anticipated. It's not even necessarily what I had planned. In fact, he disrupted what was going on in my life in order to do a new thing. And this is what God does. And he has absolutely every right to do it because he's what? God. Okay. And today I wanted to talk to you about taking your journey, because sometimes the most difficult thing about taking your journey is that everybody is not on the journey with you. Sometimes that's the most difficult thing about taking your journey. And I want you to know that as you're on your journey, like, it is not, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. It's not your job to make everybody okay with your journey. And just like it's not their job to make you okay with theirs. No one has to answer to anyone else for their journey. Like, your journey is your journey. You take your journey, and it is what it is. But I'm going to tell y'all this. And I think that when I say this, that you all will get this. One of the things that often keeps us stuck is our unwillingness to take a journey that is unfamiliar, with people that we don't know, in places that we've never been before. But it's in those places that we get our most growth. That's where we grow most significantly. If we continue to do exactly the same thing, exactly the same way, with exactly the same people, we're going to get exactly the same results. So if you want a different result, you have to do what? Something different. And so it is that doing something different that is often challenging to us. Do something different. You know, today I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my hair, and I literally was going to do crochets again. And then something said, no, do something different. So I decided I'm going to do something different with it. I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do. I'm going to do something. Uh, Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just don't like dealing with it. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I don't like dealing with it, especially not when I'm working out and stuff. I don't really want to do my hair. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I got some now, right? I got some underneath that crochet. Your girl got some hair. It's some hair here, y'all. It's some hair. Um, wow, I look so much like my aunt today. Which is interesting that I would see that today. So, I come from a large family. And when you talk about taking your journey, my aunt took her journey. When I tell you my aunt was out of the box, my aunt was the one that moved away from home, moved to the big city, worked downtown Nashville, bought a house. Like, I think she was the first one in our family to buy a house. Bought a house. They had a business there at the house. That was before I knew what a home-based business was. They had the candy store at their house, and I would go every summer and I would work in the candy store, which I loved because everybody loved me. All the boys loved me because I was there working in the candy store. And I would say, this is what I would say. Hey, little boy, would you like some candy? Yes, Aunt Sherman. That must be Ray. Yes, Aunt Sherman. But Aunt Sherman was the firecracker. She was the one that would say anything to anybody, and people's feelings would be hurt. You'd be walking away ready to cry because sometimes it wasn't the nicest. But I love my aunt, man. She was amazing. She afforded me so many opportunities in my life. It was with her that I got my first job. I worked at Opryland in Nashville in the amusement park, and it was an incredible. I drove on the interstate. Like, she's the one that taught me to drive on the interstate, to take exits and stuff. She took a lot of fear out of life for me because she did the things that other people in my family were not comfortable with doing. And so she just exposed me to a lot, and I'm forever grateful for her. I can remember I had some of my most life-changing conversations with her. It was with her I learned so many lessons about life, relationships, religion, God, men, education, knowledge. Like, she taught me so much. She taught me I wasn't too good to wash dishes. Now that I didn't like that lesson. But she took her journey. Her journey was one that people sometimes judged, but it was hers. And what I loved about her was I remember when she made a decision that man, she was a trailblazer. So when I think about my trailblazing spirit, I have to think about her. I remember when she made a decision to go to seminary. And really, they weren't really doing a lot of women in the seminary. She was at, I'm not going to say the name of it, but it was Baptist. And while she was there, y'all, this hurts me to my core. Oh my God. While she was there, she had some good experiences and she had some not so good experiences. Because she was one of very few women there on campus. But this is the other thing. She couldn't get her degree because someone had stolen money. And it messed her, along with some other people's accounts up. And so she never got her degree. One of the most brilliant women I've ever met. She was the one that introduced me to a lot of truths that I had not been exposed to. And I didn't like it. I was like, no, that's not true. That's not true. But it was true. And She introduced me to numbers and gave me my love of numbers, and really understanding the biblical significance of numbers and how God uses them. That was her. Um, she never got her degree. And I remember she was finishing up school and stuff. She met her husband, and they went on to move to Atlanta, and he went to get his master's, and she discovered she had cancer. Actually, she had it before they moved there. They didn't have insurance, and so you know, um, she kind of just didn't deal with it. And I don't know where this is coming from. Listen, this is so out of left. This was not what I was going to talk about at all. Um, and I can remember being pregnant with my daughter, and they had moved to Florida, and they were in Jacksonville, and we drove down. It was a family trip, and I remember just laying with her and talking to her. And it was the last time we were physically together before her funeral. But when I tell you that I wouldn't be who I am without that woman, it's the truth. She taught me how to sew. She taught me so much. And when I look at my aunt, see, my aunts were always they were like my mama slash sisters, right? Because my mom was so young when she had me. And my yeah, my this is so strange. This is so strange. So not where I was going. So um I don't know why God has me so raw right now. But what I know is, you guys, we can't stop our journey. I remember I remember my aunt, and she was making decisions that were not popular, and that people didn't understand. One thing about her, she stood by her decisions. But I remember when I was there in Jacksonville, I remember laying there on the bed and talking to her. I just remember her just sharing her heart with me. And we were always really close. I was really close to all my aunts. They were like my mama slash my sisters, right? Um, and they loved me. They loved me. And they were so proud of me. And they would not miss an opportunity to tell me how proud they were of me. And sometimes you have to revisit things um, to really and truly heal. When you take your journey, there are going to be things that are unlocked, things that open up that are going to challenge you. They're going to challenge you and they're going to make you uncomfortable, but do it anyway. My little cousin said, "Thank you for being my trailblazer." And honestly, that's what I always tried to do, is show them that there's more. So when I see them venturing out, even if they didn't always get it when I was trying to show them, when I see them venturing out and taking risks and going someplace where nobody in our family is, like, that's encouraging to me because I know that that's how you grow. Like, I wouldn't know Robert if I never moved to Nebraska. Um, Lots of people that I'm connected to, I've been connected to because of my moves. People didn't always understand my moves. They thought literally that I had to be in the military because I moved so much. Like, I was normally in a place no more than 2 to 4 years, like, and then I moved. And it wasn't me just moving. It wasn't even me running. And I think a lot of times people thought I was running from things. I wasn't. God would have me on assignment. My assignment would end and it would be the next place. And that's the thing with me. Listen, if you're connected to me, know this. And I need you to know it and I need you to understand it, because I don't want you to take anything personally. That when God sends me into people's lives, I don't know how long our relationship will be the way it is. And it's not because anybody did anything. It's not because I'm mad. It's not because, like, it's not any of that. But God will literally shift me. And then people are hurt. And that's never my intention, for people to be hurt. But when God shifts me, I have to shift. And that's hard because, you guys, once I shift, I can be very singular in my focus. Like, literally, my family will tell you this. If it's not in my immediate sphere, like in my day to day, it is challenging for me to it's not even just stay connected, but my friends are different. Like, my friends that I've had for a long time, like, we may not talk for years. And then we'll pick up the phone and we'll talk to each other and it'll be like we haven't missed a conversation. And I think I need that in my life, because it's not because I don't care about people. And I don't want people to think that. And it's not even about me being selfish. It's about me being on assignment. And when I'm on assignment, I have to be very focused, because what happens is there's specific people that I'm on assignment to, and I've got to connect with them, and and it's not about money. Listen, let me say this. I got to say this. It's not about money. Okay. I want y'all to hear me. It's about assignment. Okay. So at the beginning of the year, I made my declarations for what this year was for me. And it meant that I had to make some shifts. Well, the thing is this, and I want y'all to understand this, because some of you are going to have to make these kinds of decisions and you're going to be scared to make them because you just, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But this is what I'm going to tell you. When I made the declaration that in 2021, that I would make my first $1 million and that I would have 7 people make $1 million. That meant right there that there were going to be things that were going to shift, that were going to change, because my focus had shifted and changed. And in order for me to do what God has assigned me to do, because God has given me that assignment, that's an assignment from God, then I was going to have to shift my focus. It meant that my energy was going to have to be different. My space was going to have to be different. It meant that I was going to have to move in different ways. I was going to have to connect with different people because there were people that had things that I needed. Now, listen, this is the beauty of life. Everyone has something that you need and something that you can learn from, right? And sometimes we have to make shifts so that we can get what we need from the next person. And as long as we stay tightly connected to someone, we won't allow that next person in our life the way they need to be in our life. And so that person has to move out of the way. I move when God says move. And if God says move, I've got to move. It doesn't mean that the decisions that I'm making, I'm only making to connect with people with money. I want you to understand that, because true wealth is built, right? It is built. And you can be a person building wealth that has not achieved the wealth yet, but still be a significant piece to the puzzle because you have knowledge that's necessary. But the other thing is, you do have to be connected to some people who've already achieved things that you want to achieve. You do. Like, that is a fact, right? And so when you understand that, you understand some of your shifts that you had to make in your life. I don't know who this is for, but I need you to get this. As long as you stay small and you stay playing small, and you stay comfortable, and you stay in places where you're comfortable, with people with you're comfortable with, then you're always going to be where you are. And it doesn't mean that those people are not important to you. It doesn't mean that you don't love them, don't care about them, that they're not significant to you. It simply means that there is a shift that has taken place, and you have to move with the shift. The shift. Failure to do so will stunt your growth and prevent you from being able to do what it is that you've been called to do. Listen, I've had seasons in my life where people that I love, God has had to put distance between us in order for them to learn how to make decisions on their own and not rely on me or my prophetic gift. It's just what it is. And my ability to do it and your ability to do it doesn't make you cold. It doesn't make you selfish. And those are the things that people assume. It doesn't make you an opportunist. It doesn't make you a user. It doesn't make you any of those things. It simply means that you're moving with God. Can you imagine what it must have been like? Okay, I want you to think about this. Can you imagine what it must have been like for Joseph? Now, listen, by the time his brothers saw him again, he was a ruler, right? He had a prominent position. He was controlling the distribution of wealth. He was wealthy by the time they saw him again, right? But he'd gone through hell to get there. The crazy thing is, the same brothers sold him. The same brothers lied to the dad about him being dead. When they saw him again, he was in a position of honor. Sometimes you have to let spaces, situations, and people go in order for you to get to the place that you need to be to really be able to help them. Sometimes you're just too close to people for them to really receive your help. You know, the word says a prophet is without honor in his own land. It's definitely the truth, right? You guys can attest to that, right? Where you knew something, you had information, you had an opportunity, but those closest to you couldn't see it because they just knew you as you. They didn't respect you in that light. But when someone else said the same thing to them, they heard it. Same way with your kids, right? Same way with you probably, right? You probably have had people that were close to you that told you things and you didn't receive it. And then somebody else said the same thing and you were like, oh my God, that's so revolutionary. I told you that. What? You acting like that's new. That ain't new. I told you that. You want to see real change in your life, as much as it may pain you. I'm getting ready to tell you this. Y'all can take it for what it's worth. Do something with it or not do something with it. You're going to have to change your circle. Doesn't mean you don't love the people that you love. Doesn't mean that they're not your friends. It doesn't mean any of that. But in order to get to where God is taking you, you're going to have to change your circle. It's going to be beneficial for all of you. And that's the key. If your friendships can make it through that shift, then they're real. They're lasting. They're substantive. They'll carry on. But that shift is a hard thing. It's a hard thing to have a friend that, you used to be with all the time or talk to all the time, and then you don't, it's a hard thing. I can't say it's not. It's a hard thing. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't miss it. Don't miss this move of God. Don't miss what God is doing. Don't miss it. Because if you miss it, I don't know when it's coming back around. It's a hard thing. But I want you to pay attention. Minor tweaks in your life. Minor shifts in your life produce different kinds of results. It doesn't mean that nobody else was significant, nobody else was important, nobody else played a role. It absolutely does not mean that. It doesn't take anything away from the role that different people have played in your life. There's no way I would be at a point where I've lost 40 pounds if it was not for Destiny Marie. Coach Destiny, oh my God. When I was at my biggest, when I was struggling, when I didn't want to go to the gym, when I didn't want to eat right, when I didn't want to do anything, like that woman right there, a beast. She got me to the point where she walked it with me. Like you can't deny that. Man, that's incredible. It was the foundation that she's laid that allowed me to even be able to be where I am, to be able to go forward. Couldn't have done it if it hadn't been for her. At all. At all. When I tell you the girl is bad, she's bad. She's bad. Can't take anything away from her. She's a beast. And she's the reason that I've been able to get to the point that I'm at. But at the end of the year, God said, now you have to take it and go. And I didn't understand that. And it hurt me because that's my girl. For me to continue this journey and not continue it with her like that, because in my mind, like I'm plus fit for life. And then God had to shake me and say, but you're not plus fit. And I said, well, wait a minute. I want to be plus fit for life. He said, but your identity has changed. See, this is what happens to us. Our identity changes, but we don't want to change with our identity change. We want to stay where we were because that's what got us to where we are. You can't do it. It's just like when people have surgery. They have weight loss surgery, right? Or they have breast augmentation or butt augmentation, or they get their stomachs flattened or whatever. They can still look at themselves and see in the mirror and see themselves as they were. But that's not who they are now. But they still see that because it's a whole psychological thing. You all take your journey. Shift when you got to shift. In fact, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have the honor and the privilege of being on a show with Dr. Shalundia Bell. And we're going to be talking about shifting. I encourage you guys to join us tonight because I promise you it's going to be some bombs dropped. She's going to interview me. We're going to talk about it. And I'm going to share. I'm going to share with the audience some of the shifts I've had to go through. Now, if you followed me any length of time, you've seen me go through several shifts. You've seen several iterations of Dr. V. You've seen Dr. V look different ways. You've seen me show up differently, but still the same. I'm still me. Like, I'm consistent. I'm consistent in that. I was talking to someone who has just come to know me, and she was saying, at first I was like, she's doing a lot, right? And I said, and if you see me on any of my platforms, I'm still gonna be doing a lot because it's who I am. It's who I am. Some things don't change. Some things do. Some things don't change their core, right? At the core of my being, I am who I am. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to say what needs to be said, even if people don't like it. I'm going to obey God no matter what. I'm going to obey God, even when I don't want to obey him, when I'm mad at him, when I be talking about, I'm pissed off at you right now. I'm not even fooling with you. Leave me alone. He knows I'm going to obey him. He appreciates that about me too. He appreciates that more than he appreciates the people that pretend like, they're all for him. And God, I'll do everything you say. And then he says something and they say they're going to do it and they don't. He appreciates my honesty more. He appreciates your honesty more. Just be honest. I'm honest with God. Like, I talk to God like I'm talking to y'all. Like, I'm not doing that. You tripping. God, you tripping. What? Why I always got to be the one? Me. Why does it always have to be me? And yes, I'm going to use Ebonics. And let me tell you why I'm going to use Ebonics. I have a full earned PhD. I promise you, I can communicate with the best of them. I know how to articulate, enunciate, and all of that. Believe me, boo-boo. I know how to do it all. See, this PhD is not something that somebody handed me just to give me a piece of paper. I went to school for it. I labored for it. I got student loan debt to this day for it. But let me tell you why I use Ebonics. Let me tell you why I talk the way I talk, why I move the way I move, why I interact with people the way I interact with them. So listen, this is the thing. Society has all of these stereotypes of what education looks like, of what this looks like, of what class looks like. I tell people I'm bougetto. There's a part of me that's bougie. Yes, it is. I got a little bouginess to me, but there's also a side of me that is a little ghetto, right? There's a little ratchet side to me. I got a little ratchet in me, okay? I just do. And I don't deny it. I don't denounce it. And I don't try to pretend to be anything other than who I am, because I am called, much like Paul, to be all things to all people. I know how to deal with white people, black people, Asian people. I know how to deal with Christians, Scientologists. I know how to deal with Wiccans. I know how to deal with everybody. I can deal with anybody and everybody, and God knows that about me. I don't judge people. I don't spend my time condemning people. I don't have time for it. I can be with straight people, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people. I can be with anyone. I absolutely can. And in fact, I'm going to love on absolutely every one of those people exactly for who they are right now in this moment, in their truth. I'm not going to ask them to change to make me feel comfortable. I'm comfortable in my own skin. See, what other people choose to do, what other people believe, does not dictate my comfort with me. I'm totally comfortable with me. I know what I believe. And I went through a journey in order to discover my personal beliefs. I'm not talking about Big Mama's beliefs, my mom and daddy's beliefs, my aunties and them beliefs. I'm not talking about my pastor's beliefs. I'm not talking about the people I grew up with beliefs. I'm talking about my beliefs. I've explored different things and I've come to where I am. And where I am may not be where you are, and you may not like where I am. And that's your business and your prerogative, but it's not none of my business. That's not my business. That's your business. It's your business. I can love everybody. Literally on Valentine's Day, this is what happened, y'all. Now, most people would have just been so embarrassed, they just would have walked away and just with their head down, right? So there was a table with 4 guys at the table. The guys was handsome. There was some handsome guys. I said, excuse me, loud. Excuse me. It's Valentine's Day, y'all. Y'all ain't got no Valentines. Y'all ain't got no Valentines. Now, mind you, it didn't cross my mind that they might be with their Valentines. And so the guy said, oh, we're with our Valentines. I said, oh, okay, my bad. Well, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves and enjoying each other. All I'm saying is this. This is the stuff that makes me mad. All of this fineness right here. All of this fineness right here. They all hugged me. One of them got up and hugged me. Like, they all hugged me. We laughed. We had a good time. I walked away. They felt good about themselves. I still felt good about myself, right? I had an opportunity to engage with some people, to let them know that I love them, to let them know that they were fine. The brothers was fine, y'all. I'm just saying they was fine. They was fine. All of this, right? Y'all tripping. See, this is where I'll be mad. Right here. All of this fatness right here, right? And they just laughed, right? They weren't offended. I wasn't offended. They didn't feel no type of way. I didn't feel no type of way. And my cousin said something. She said, cuz you know that you're drawn to all different types of people, but particularly gay people, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. She's like, you're drawn to them. They're drawn to you. And it is because of my love for people and my inclusiveness without judgment. See, I know this. I know I don't know everything. I don't know everything people have gone through, and I'm not the one to make judgment on why they are the way they are, or if how they are is right or wrong. That's not my business, right? It's my business to make sure I love people where they are. Because let me tell you something. For all the people who have all the stuff to say about people and their sexual orientation and, you know, same gender marriage and all of that stuff, I don't have time to be caught up in other people's business because I am trying to take care of my own business. I got enough business of my own, enough stuff of my own that I need to deal with. That I don't have time to be consumed with other people's stuff. I don't have time. I don't have time. Now, you may have time to do that, but listen, I'm over here trying to take care of my business, handle my business, right? Take care of my family, handle my family, right? And then my daughter is a lesbian. So, wait, what am I to say? You're not my daughter anymore? No, I would never say that. I knew before she came out. I knew. When my other daughter said, Mom, I think I like girls. I said, okay. She's like, that's all you gonna say? What else did you want me to say? I knew with her, it was a phase. My other daughter, it's not a phase. It's not a phase. And I'm not gonna disown her or stop loving her or not love her partner or anything or their child, or I'm not doing that. I'm not. I know there are parents who do that. That's their prerogative and that's their business. It's not my business. My business is my family. Your business is your family. Can we just handle our own business? See, when you take your journey, you start to understand the importance of handling your business and staying in your lane. Everything is not for you to address. Everything is not for you to have an opinion on. You don't have to have an opinion on everything that you articulate. You don't. You can let people mind their business and you mind y'all's. Like, I believe in minding the business that pays me. My school, my family, my life, my relationships. How am I look at somebody else and talk to them about their relationship and I done been married 5 times? Come on now. What can I say to you about how you shouldn't be in this relationship and y'all been together longer than I was together with some people that I married? What that don't look right. That don't even make no sense. I don't have time for it. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time for it. Won't do it. Refuse. Been there, done it, learned a lesson. And what I learned was the people that I thought would be the people who would have my back were not the people who had my back. It was the people that other people threw away that had my back. It was the outcasts, the misfits, the people that people look down on. So I have a PhD and I speak in Ebonics. Use it when I want to. Do it how I want to. Because I want other people to know that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. I clearly know how to articulate. Got a PhD in freaking communication. Absolutely know how to do it. Phenomenal communicator. Know how to use all the big words. Probably know more big words than most people. I just don't choose to use them all the time. Because most people who use big words all the time are really insecure. And they use it as a defense mechanism to make people think they're smart. I know I'm smart. I'm brilliant. I'm one of the smartest people I know. And I'm not saying that in a braggadocious way. It's facts. I'm brilliant. When I tell y'all I'm brilliant for real. But I don't have to live my life going around proving to everyone I'm brilliant. If you can't see my brilliance in me showing up and in things I say just because I don't say it the way that you say it, then you don't need to see my brilliance. It's not for you to see it. What I understand is there are people who may not articulate the same way or enunciate all their words. They may speak in Ebonics and they're still brilliant. That doesn't determine their intellect, doesn't determine their intelligence or their genius. Because all of us have genius and a genius zone, a zone where we operate at our peak. It's the place where that we are most intelligent. And there are multiple intelligences, not just IQ. See, that's a trick of the enemy to have some people feeling superior to other people. Wow. I'm glad y'all waited for me. Listen, this is when you know. This is when you know. Let me make sure y'all can hear me first of all. Can y'all hear me? Let me know y'all can hear me. Let me know y'all can hear me. Hey, Cherie. How you doing, boo? Y'all let me know y'all can hear me. Somebody let me know you can hear me. Okay, good. This is when you know that what you're saying, that the enemy is trying to stop. Because as soon as I got ready to say that, the enemy want to shut down because he is in control of airwaves. Okay, so you have to take dominion over that stuff, right? So there are people who want to make everything about certain things in order to prove superiority. But you guys, let me tell you something. There are multiple intelligences. There are people who are intelligent in ways where it comes to using their body that I'm not, right? So athletes, they have kinetic intelligence, right? Now people say, oh, they're just a dumb jock. No, no, no. You can't do certain things and be dumb. Okay, you can't anticipate plays. You got, like, it's a lot of things to athletics and sports that people underestimate. So there are different forms of intelligence. It's called multiple intelligences. And I remember when I discovered that concept. When I discovered that concept, I said, this makes sense. It's not just about your intelligence when it comes to reading and writing, when it comes to math, because those are different intelligences, right? That's why somebody can be brilliant when it comes to writing and horrible when it comes to math, because they're different intelligences. But it doesn't mean that one person is more intelligent than the other person, or one person has more value than the other person. All of our intelligences are important because they're necessary and they're needed. You need the people who are good with their hands, that are able to just fix stuff, right? You need those people. You need the people that are musically intelligent, right? Those people who are just able to hear sounds in their head and produce beautiful. Like, we need all of that. We need people that are naturalistic intelligence, right? That are intelligent when it comes to nature, right? They understand nature, they connect with nature. We need that, right? So that we can understand what's going on in nature. Every intelligence is important, right? Not just the one that you measure on an IQ test. That's not the only intelligence that exists. And as long as we as a society stay in that place, we don't allow people to fully take their journey. Why? We tell them that you're not qualified to take this journey. You're not qualified to do this, or you're not qualified to do that because you don't have this or you don't have that. All of those things are things that are used to limit people. Let's stop allowing people to limit you. Let me tell you this about me. I may not be able to sing like an angel, right? I may not have the best singing voice, but no one will ever stop me from singing my song. Like, I'm going to sing for the rest of my life because I love to sing. It is something that I love doing. And I do it at the top of my lungs with the music turned all the way up in the car. I just sing my little happy self happy. And I'll bust out into song in the middle of a lecture or in the middle of a speech because a song came in my spirit. And that song was for somebody that song meant something to. And so I needed to sing that song, even if it wasn't on key, even if it hurt your ears. Like, I needed to do it. And I needed to do it to free you up, to let you know that you don't have to be in bondage to doing everything perfectly. I'm good at a lot of stuff, but I'm not great at everything. I know some things are outside of my natural wheelhouse, you know, but there are times I may have to do them anyway. All I'm saying is this: stop putting people in boxes and stop allowing people to put you in a box. Every time somebody puts me in a box, I just be like, no. So, like, something inside of me rises up, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. The moment you put me in a box and you say it must be done like this, oh, you lost me, because I'm not doing it like that. I'm not. It's gonna have a Dr. V flavor to it. It just is, because I know that sometimes we restrict God. We restrict him, what he can do, how he can do it, who he does it with, and who he does it through. We restrict God. I refuse to restrict him. I know that the people that say that they know, they know the mind of God, are generally the ones that have no clue about God's mind, because they've reduced his mind to their size. And sometimes that's a P. A P. Nah, God's bigger than that. So, as I've been on this journey over the past few weeks, and you guys have had an opportunity to witness me in probably the most vulnerable state I have been in my life. How about that? In my whole 54 years, I've never been this vulnerable. Ever. I promise you. No. Mm-mm. You guys have gotten an opportunity to see me walk through it. And hopefully, as I've walked through it, it's given you encouragement that you can walk through your vulnerable season, that you can be vulnerable and you can make it on the other side. There's still areas where I'm like, it's raw and I'm healing, but it's okay. I refuse to simply put a band aid on, which is normally what I do. Put a band aid on, put a little antiseptic on. Y'all know how we do. Put a little antiseptic on, put a band aid on, cover it up. The problem is, it doesn't get a chance to breathe. And true healing occurs when the air hits the wound, because it allows it to go through the natural healing process. It's time. It's time, you guys. It's time for you to break free. It's time for you to be all of who God has created you to be, no matter what that makes other people feel like, or how they look at you, or what it means. And the only way you can get free is by being with free people, people who are free. As long as you're with people who have a certain mindset, you're going to stay in that mindset. And they can even have a mindset to be free, but not be in the place to execute the things necessary for freedom. And you got to have people in your life who've already done it. You do. You do. So, as we're taking this journey together, because I feel like y'all are on a journey with me, this is what I would ask of you as we're on this journey. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Give yourself permission to go through what you go through, to feel what you feel, to be vulnerable, and then extend that grace to others. Sometimes we're quicker to extend the grace to others than we are to extend it to ourselves. Extend it to both parties. Be compassionate, but be steadfast and immovable, always abounding, right? Let God be God in your life. Take the journey that he's already established for you, because there's a reason that you have to take it. And honor those that he's connected you to, because there's a reason that you're connected.
Tomorrow, I'm super excited because I get to meet with the Billionaire Bosses book coaching program. Y'all listen, these people, they've got stories to tell. And I'm super excited that God has chosen me to help them birth out those stories, to give them a space to be free, to be able to give them the feedback, the encouragement, the prophetic wind to blow on those things that are already in them and birth them. It's going to be an amazing time. And if you have a book, if you have a story, something that you need to tell, join us. You'll be surprised what happens when you get in the right group of people and how the return on your investment can become so great. You guys, I know this though. I know that what's produced out of this is going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be mind blowing. And none of us will ever be the same again because that's the way God works. You know, you never step in the same river twice. You never feel the same pain twice. It's always a little different. And so give yourself permission, take the journey, and know that God is with you. Again, if you're interested in the Billionaire Boss book coaching program, make sure you hit me up and let's talk about how you can get plugged in. And also on Sunday, super excited about this one too, right? On Sunday, we launched the Flow Coaching Program where you learn how to get into your flow, get balance, and make all the pieces and dimensions of your life work together, where we examine the physical, spiritual, mental, financial, emotional, and let me see, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, and financial realms of your life and get them all flowing together. Because I promise you, when you get in your flow, then everything in your life begins to run a little differently. I, I'll tell you, it's been different, it's been challenging, but it's been good. Like, I see the changes. Are there still more changes to be made? Absolutely. But I'm pleased with what God has shown me how to produce in my life and how to bring it together so that it works together and not against one another. Um, it's created a flow that has changed not only my life, but the lives of people connected to me. So I'm grateful for it. So if you're interested in the Flow Coaching Program, make sure you go sign up. Sign up for um, a, a free breakthrough strategy session. Go to Get Balance with Dr. V, Get Balance with drv.com. Get Balance with drv.com. Schedule your free breakthrough strategy session. If nothing else, you'll get some strategies that you can immediately implement in your life to begin to create freedom, change, balance, and flow. That's what I can tell you. Those of you who are on here who have experienced it, let them know. Let them know if you got something of value out of that session. Even if you didn't go on to coach with me right now, it's okay. It's not about that for me. Well, it is, but it's not, right? I don't feel like anything I do is wasted. I believe that everything that God has me do is intentional and is purposeful. And so I don't look at it like everyone who does a breakthrough strategy session has to sign up with me. Like, I don't know. Because I mean, I want them to sign up with me, to be honest with you. But if I do see that there's a fit and it doesn't happen right then, it doesn't mean it won't happen. It just may mean not yet. Every no is not a no. Some no's are not yet or not now. It just depends. And some no's are no. And some no's are hell no. Okay? Be grateful for every one of them. Listen, you guys, I'm going to close out, but know that I absolutely love you. I believe in you. And I know that there is greater for you. There's greater in store for you, that God is doing amazing things in your life. And I thank you for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me, almost an hour for many of you. And I know your time is precious, but I pray that you heard something that blessed you. I pray that you heard something that encouraged you. I pray that you heard something that inspired you to move and empowered you to take action today. Don't just listen, don't just take it in and say it sounded good. Do something with it. That's the greatest gift that you can give me. If you feel led to drop a cash app, you want to sow a seed because you got something and you're like, ooh, I need to put a seed in the ground on this. My cash app is $ DRV Walters. DRV Walters. Drop that cash app, sow the seed. It's so funny. I recently dropped a seed in somebody's life and they were like, well, what was that for? I told you that there wasn't a charge on that. No, but I understand the way seed time and harvest works. And when a prophet sows a seed, when the prophet does something for you, they speak a word in your life, they do something for you, and you put a seed in the ground, and that seed gets multiplied because you get a prophet's, when you bless a prophet, you get a prophet's reward. So I understand that principle. And so if you want to operate in that principle, $ DRV Walters is my cash app. Kimberly said the coaching was phenomenal. It broke me through in a lot of areas. It helped me to get in touch with me. Amen. And that's what it's about, you guys. That's what it's about. You just got to know where you are, because sometimes once you get the aerial view of where you are, you can begin to see where you need to focus. With that said, you guys, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing and incredible Friday. Be blessed.